universal health care. And sub-question from that, when you're looking at things like Medicare, Medicaid, and Veterans Health, how do your views on universal health care play into those different aspects when we're talking about, universal health care?
So I do support Medicare for all 100%. I will, of course, I will protect the Affordable Care Act and help to protect and expand it until we can get Medicare for all passed. But still, the Affordable Care Act was, honestly, a giant handout to pharmaceutical companies in the health industry. But what it did do is it allowed people with pre-existing conditions to get the help that they needed to save their lives. So it was a double-edged sword, and it was way better than what we had before. What we need to look at is for more than 100 years, we have had private health care. More than 100 years, we've tried different kinds of private health care systems. But one thing we know for sure right now is the number one cause of bankruptcy in America is medical debt. Medical bills. And 70% of those people that file bankruptcy for medical debt have medical insurance. They're going to work. They're paying their premiums. They're doing everything right. They get sick, and then they lose everything, and that is not okay. No. America is the only nation in the entire world where someone can get sick and lose everything. We have to fix that.
Yeah.
I hear a lot
that's something that I have... I've said that over and over again on many of our shows, is that every single one of us that have been on this show are one medical bill away from bankruptcy. And you just hit that point. You hit that point 100%.
And Medicare for All is really the cure-all. It's going to help. Number one, Medicare for All, it is not free. We are going to pay for it. Of course, nothing is free.
Right.
Number two, it is not Medicare. I get that all the time. Well, Medicare is so terrible if we have all these supplements and you just want to do this for everybody. It is not Medicare. They shouldn't have named it Medicare for All. It should be called Healthcare for All or something like that. Point being, for the average household in Arkansas, our average income is $40,000 a year.
Right.
Now, what that means is and I know, I see in your face, it's really crazy. I wish it was higher. And we can get to that later because I have a vision for how we can do that.
Okay.
Now, the average Arkansan household income is $40,000 a year. With Medicare for All, that means the average Arkansan house will pay $440 per year to cover their entire household. $440 a year. Now, there will be costs for prescription drugs. The prescription drug cost will be $200 cap per year. So that means if you fill your first prescription in January and it's more than $200, you pay your $200 copay on it, and your prescriptions for the rest of the year are at no cost to you. Oh my goodness! This is just the way it is. Now, the way that we can get that amount, because I know average is just a term.
Right.
If you want to look at how expensive it would cost, say, for your family, let's say for a middle-class family or an upper-middle-class family. All right. Say your household income is $100,000 per year.
Right.
Now, you'll subtract $29,000 and then multiply it by 0.04, which is 4%. That means if your household income is $100,000 a year, your yearly medical payment to cover your entire house, no more premiums, deductibles, copays, any of that, $2,840 a year.
My goodness.
Now,
that's amazing.
If you break that down and divide that by 12, that's $237 a month.
That's nothing.
Right. You hit something very important right there, too. And I've been trying to teach these guys this for years on American Idiots podcast, is that most people think they're middle class here in Arkansas, and they're not. They're in poverty, and they don't get that. The middle class in this country starts at $80,000 a year. That's middle class. That's lower.
Yeah.
That's lower. Okay?
Ooh, wow.
So most of these people making $40,000, $50,000 a year, they don't even realize that they're living in poverty. They have no clue at all. And you just hit that. I'm so thankful that you did that. That's amazing. Thank you.
And we can even get more into that. I'm full of fun facts and statistics.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it.
Back to Medicare for All. So if you make $100,000 a year household income, that's $237 a month. my wife and I, we work. We have decent jobs. You know, we work for a Fortune 300 company. Our medical insurance, we pay $840 a month and have a $1,500 deductible.
I know.
Let's see here.
I pay
$600
$600
a month. 12? $600 a month. Wow. So we pay about, you know, that's $11,500 to our medical insurance provider before they help us out. A year, that's a huge percentage of our income.
Yeah.
That's, you know, 10, 15, 20% of some people's income is just going to their medical. That's before you take into their mortgage and their rent, which is 15, 20, 30%. And then you have utilities and car and gas and food and clothes. It's not sustainable. We have to make sure that when we are holding people's lives in our hands, we are not putting profits over these lives, which we see really heavily, especially with our diabetic community, with our insulin costs. Insulin is ridiculously expensive, and it costs almost nothing to make, but a small, I think 3 companies own the patent and just monopolize the entire industry. We have to, little things like this.